now that you mentioned, maybe is not the best thing and there's no pressure. Every player can learn. Like our shooting is very strong. I don't know. I value this thing the most. Very random thing. Astral, let's go! Hello, my name is Albinas Šeputis from Lithuania, Vilnius, and I recently started coaching Astral. My nickname is tooizera. Good question. I was playing pretty recently still, and we had this European Championship with the Lithuanian national team, and they asked me to coach them because they know me pretty well, and we somehow won. We were like very big underdogs. We won the whole tournament, and yeah, and then I got offer from Astral, and that's how the coaching started. In my opinion, I think which I feel I'm pretty good at. I think it's developing players, because like if you are starting pretty like in a little bit lower tiers, I think it's really important that you are like developing players and not just getting good players and making good team from it, but basically teaching them to play and improving them. Of course, if you're like tier 1 coach or something, it's like maybe you don't need this like value this that much, but I value this thing the most. Just like casual, I think as our tier team, maybe like we're practicing a little bit too much. Not too much, I think a little bit more than like our level teams, because I think we have like a little bit higher goals than like our level teams. So we are usually practicing, I don't know, like five pracs per day, doing some theories, some demo watching, and obviously individual work depending on the time of the boys. I wouldn't say maybe some rounds, but I think we have like pretty interesting in a way system that like I'm trying to implement. It could be like, I will not go too much into details, but basically just playing I would say correct way of CS. Like it could be like on CT side, it could be on T side, but like trying to play correct way, not like doing a lot of random moves, but trying to play structured CS. And I think it's improving, and we are trying to become a very well structured good level team. I think a lot, because if you're taking like our tier teams, which are still pretty low tier, I would say. For example, if we were taking like SEA main teams, like it's obviously very big difference than let's say, for example, like Draculan, which we are going, because the team level like differs a lot. And my approach is that like some teams that don't have like very well structured gameplay, it's not that much it's not that much that you can anti-strat, so it's a little bit better to just play your game if you're confident that you can beat them by playing your game. And then if a team is more structured and you know that you can adjust and do some counter strats, or like you can see some patterns in their play, then I do much longer anti-strat. I think it's mostly all the maps that we're playing. If you take out our permaban like overpass, then I think all the other maps we are pretty much comfortable. It can depend on the opponent a little bit, like what style of game they're playing, and it could be one day a little bit more comfortable opponent, one day less comfortable. So I think it depends on it. I think actually, because we are pretty young team, I think if everybody is on point, our individual play is very strong, like our shooting is very strong, and sometimes that if the game are not going well, we can like bounce back just purely by shooting, even if we are not executing strats. Especially we can see this some procs when like boys are very comfortable and there is no pressure. And yet the other way around, like it can also be like if we are like feeling the game also like very good and we are shooting good, it feels like there is like no chance for the opponent. So I think the individual like gameplay is very strong. I think like with always with like very similar teams that are less experienced and younger, is like nervousness, especially on LANs, as we saw in some LANs that we played. Like it's still like obviously the players need experience, we need to play more and more. So I think this is one of the main things, and because of the nervousness and a little bit of like I wouldn't call it choking, but let's say like a little bit of choking, it can impact the whole like team. If like one or two like players are not playing to their level like they usually play, it could be then all the aspects could suffer basically, like the communication, shooting, or overall like gameplay. I think it really depends on what is actually happening. It could be like, and what kind of player is having problems. Like if it's like full team, I'm just trying to have like motivational talk, just like, okay, try to say what we did wrong, what we are not doing that we used to do, and trying to just put this, I don't know, picture in their minds that how they should play. And if it's like some individual things that players are, maybe some individual players are lacking, that I also see that maybe they are not being not their usual selves, I'm trying to speak a little bit privately, maybe to give some ideas, just simple things that they can do, maybe next map or next game, that it should revive them, let's say, and make them play like they usually do. It's funny thing that actually we didn't actually have too many conflicts in the team, which is that, now that you mention, maybe is not the best thing, because usually if there is conflicts, maybe there are like some kind of improvements will come and stuff. But overall, like I think we're like moving in like very good direction, and everybody just focused, and I wouldn't say like we don't have like time for conflicts or something, but it's interesting that it rarely happens, and if it happens, it's usually very simple and very fast to resolve. I would say, as I mentioned, like if you take gameplay things, I would say that individually strong, like individually strong shooting, and like young players, we are obviously focused on. And if we take qualities not in the game, I would say like communication, like having good mood, and overall we have, I would say, pretty fun team that are getting very well together, basically on the off days and when we are like having fun after pracs or before pracs. So I think that's like really important, having not being this I don't know, separate guy who's just chilling somewhere separately, but being in a team, being with the team, and communicating together. To win everything that is possible, very high expectations for the team. I would say maybe communication obviously is still every time improving, because it's one of the main things that we're focusing on. So obviously it's improving a lot, because constantly we're doing that. Then second thing, I would say discipline. It still needs work, but it's still improving lately pretty much. And third thing, I would say, overall, in like the time that I'm with the team, I think like structure and overall playing the correct way, as I mentioned before, like good team CS. I would say maybe like with all the sports, just being open-minded, like not thinking that obviously ego is important, but not thinking that you know everything, because every player can learn a lot. It still doesn't matter if you're like tier 3, tier 2, tier 1, you can learn a lot. And obviously if you're like open-minded and you are willing to learn, you need to put in as much work as possible. You need to sacrifice some things, and not like go out every second day and just keep grinding, keep rocking with the team, individual, and so on. So I think these are the most important things. I think it's either me or IGL probably, which is a normal thing, I guess, because IGL could be mad because something happened maybe wrong in the round, or the team didn't do, and me the same. Like if they are not following like game plan, or maybe they didn't understand what I want to do, then it would probably be me or Nick. Maybe Aster could be, but in a way, I wouldn't say that only in his own head, but maybe some like unique things that could look for us also, that maybe it could look bad, but actually it could, work out. So maybe because he's playing these roles that are a little bit, he needs to, be aggressive in a way. So maybe Aster, I would say. I don't know. Interesting question. I don't know. Maybe like, okay, shield, maybe not interesting, but maybe some random thing. Like I remember there was this funny thing in public servers, like wall hack grenade. like which you throw, and for like 2 or 3 seconds you can see through walls. So I think this is like no, again, this is like with Molotov. When CSGO started, like everybody was saying from 1.6 and source that Molotov gonna be like very random thing, and everybody's saying it's the worst, but now it became like very like big part of CS. So I think sometimes these like add-ons can, you know, work pretty well, but you still need to be realistic, I guess, and that game still stays the same vibe with like CS. Astral, let's go! Funny thing that actually it's not happening too often, because again, like other teams, like usually it happen, but maybe again we have pretty good structure now, and we're usually following game plan pretty well. So there's like not that much times that we're gonna do something like very random, I would say. So maybe if that would happen, maybe it would be like me if I don't like something, and I would say, okay, why we are doing this if like we didn't like talk about this. So maybe me, but again, this is not happening almost ever. It's secret. We cannot say who it is. That's it. Thank you.